What if you left everything behind to chase freedom, only to find yourself lost, hungry, and full of regret? The Prodigal Son story is more than just a tale about mistakes. It is about the long, painful, and beautiful road back to love. His journey shows us that no matter how far we wander, there is always a way home. I looked at my father one morning, heart pounding but pride leading me. "Father, give me my share of the inheritance now." My voice was steady, but inside, doubt scratched at me. Why ask for what wasn't mine yet? Still, the dream of freedom burned too strong. My father's eyes filled with sorrow, his lips trembled, yet he granted my request. He divided the property and placed heavy bags of coins into my hands. I felt rich, powerful, unstoppable. Behind me, the house stood quiet, my father's gaze heavy, my brother silent. I didn't look back. I saw only the open road, a future filled with endless possibility. With each step, excitement grew, drowning the voice of guilt, whispering in my chest. I believed happiness was waiting just beyond the hills. Little did I know, I was walking toward regret. The city dazzled me. Lanterns glowed bright, voices rose like music, and every street offered something new. With my money, I bought fine clothes, ate the richest foods, and laughed with strangers who quickly became friends. Each night was louder than the last, each morning slower to rise. I thought this was life, sparkling, golden, and endless. But coins spill faster than water, and soon my bags grew lighter. My friends stopped calling when I stopped paying. The songs faded, the laughter disappeared. The city no longer smiled at me. It turned its face away. I walked the streets alone, my stomach aching, my shoes worn. I looked back once in my mind to my father's table, where bread was never missing. Shame burned me, but I pushed it away. Pride told me I couldn't return, not yet. The last coin slipped through my fingers one morning. I stared at the empty purse, heart sinking. Hunger clawed at my stomach. I begged for work, but doors closed quickly, eyes turned away. Once, I had walked proudly through these streets. Now I dragged myself, dusty and forgotten. My clothes hung loose, torn and filthy. My feet ached from wandering. I thought of my father's servants, each with bread enough and a warm bed. Even though they lived better than I did now, regret settled heavy, like a shadow that refused to leave. Pride still clung to me, but its voice was weaker. I had chosen this path, and it had led me here empty, cold, and lost. A farmer took pity and gave me work feeding his pigs. The stench was thick, the mud clung to my feet, and the pigs pushed against me, grunting greedily. I tossed their food into the trough and stared at it, my stomach twisting. The pigs ate better than I did. I bent low, thinking of grabbing a handful, but even that wasn't offered to me. I sat in the mud, shaking, eyes burning with tears. My father's house rose again in my memory, clean, warm, filled with laughter and bread. Even the lowest servant there had more dignity than I did now. Pride whispered, "Stay," but regret shouted louder, "Go home." One night, I leaned over a pool of water. My reflection stared back, a thin face, hollow eyes, tangled hair, a stranger I barely recognized. Tears dripped into the water, blurring the image. This was what I had become. A son who had traded love for emptiness, dignity for scraps. Shame pressed hard, but in that shame, truth appeared. I whispered, "I will return." The words felt heavy, but real. For the first time, I admitted the truth. I was wrong. I missed my father, my home, my place at the table. I didn't deserve to be called his son anymore, but maybe, just maybe, he would let me be his servant. The night was long, but my choice was made. I would go home. I rehearsed my words again and again. "Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Make me like one of your servants." My stomach growled, my feet ached, but my heart was steady for the first time in months. The road ahead would be long, but the road behind held nothing but regret. I rose with the sun, each step toward home carrying both fear and hope. The journey stretched endlessly. Dust clung to my skin, the sun beat down, and my legs grew weak. Each mile felt like a mountain, each thought a weight. What if my father turned me away? What if his anger was greater than his love? Yet the image of home pulled me forward, like a flame in the dark. I pictured bread on the table, a roof over my head, and my father's voice, even if only to call me a servant. Regret pressed down, but hope pushed me on. The road home was the hardest road I had ever walked, but it was also the only one worth walking. At last, the house came into view. My chest tightened, my steps slowed. Then I saw him, my father, standing in the distance. Before I could hide, he ran toward me, robe lifted, arms wide. My knees buckled. Tears streamed down my face. When he reached me, he wrapped me in his arms, kissed my dirt-streaked cheeks, and held me close. I stammered my words, trembling. "Father, I have sinned, I am not worthy." But he silenced me with love. His eyes, filled with tears, saw not my shame, but his son. Grace had met me before my apology was finished. My father called out, "Bring the best robe. Put a ring on his finger. Prepare the fattened calf. Tonight we celebrate, for my son was lost and now is found." The house burst into joy. Servants hurried, music rose, firelight danced. My father's arms never left my shoulders. They covered me in clean clothes, placed shoes on my feet. The table filled with food, richer than I had ever seen in the city. As I ate, tears rolled freely. This feast was more than a meal. It was forgiveness served on every plate. The road home had ended with joy greater than I had dreamed. That night, as music echoed and laughter filled the halls, I looked at my father. His face glowed with love, no anger in sight. I realized the truth. My long road home had been more than a journey of regret. It was a journey of grace. Grace had run to me when I could barely walk. Grace had restored me when I thought I was beyond repair. I was not welcomed as a servant, but as a son. My road had been long, but love had been waiting at the end all along. And that love changed everything. The son thought he was too far gone, but love was waiting at the end of the road. If this story touched your heart, don't leave without sharing your voice. Like this video if you believe no mistake is too big for forgiveness. Subscribe for more Bible stories told in a way that stirs the soul. Share this with a friend or family member who needs hope today. And in the comments, tell us, what part of the prodigal son's journey spoke to you the most? The regret, the road, or the return? Together, let's spread the message of grace to the world.